Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make a website or portfolio using Komposzer. You can get Komposzer from Komposzer.net, and it is a free download. What's great about Komposzer is it's what you see is what you get. So if you don't have Komposzer, you got to download it. Otherwise, if you have it, you should go to Programs, and it should be inside there. Komposzer is spelled with a K, kind of funny, but if you want to Google it, that's how you spell it, Komposzer.net. Alright, so how is this different, or how does this work compared to just using Notepad? So for example, if I say hello world and I choose red or something like that, hit OK, I can go to the source code here and it shows me what it did. It already put in all the HTML tags that I need. It's just so much quicker if you understand how to use the program. It's so much quicker than just typing in HTML. Alright, so what I want to show you to do today is how to make, again, a website, a simple website or a portfolio. So the first thing I'm going to do is, well, let me say first, if you want to make it more complicated and you really know what you're doing, you're probably going to want to use CSS to make your web page. But this is just a simple tutorial, so we're going to use tables to format ours. So the first thing I'm going to do is, well, before I even get into that, here's what you should do. Create a folder. Just right-click on your desktop, or if you're one of my students, do it on your H drive. But right-click, New, and Folder. And inside, and go ahead and call that folder Website. We're going to put everything inside of there. Okay, so do that first. Alright, so the next thing that you need to do is I'm going to go Table, Insert Table. And what is a table exactly? Well, let me get one in there first. I'm going to just go one by one table. It's not really a table, it's just kind of a cell then. What this allows me to do is I can put things inside of this table and I can format it so it kind of sticks with it. So for example, let's say I'm going to enter down a few times here and I'm going to insert another table, and in this table I'm going to go 4 wide and hit OK. Now see, if I put something in these tables, it's going to make sure it stays on the page a certain way. Okay, so for example, I'm going to have my name up here. I'm going to call myself John Smith, really original. And let's say I have what I'm wanting these. I'm going to have personal information. All right. Click the next box. Awards. And see how it's moving? It's trying to adjust for me automatically. And I'll show you how to fix that in a second. Honors and interests. And you might have something else. This website, maybe I'll have like products and whatever else. Academic information. And lastly, sample student work. Alright, there we go. So these will be like my buttons on the page, but already like I want to be able to see the background and I want to format this table the way I want it to look. And again, if you already look at my source code, see how much coding it's already put in there for me? It's great. Okay, so let's say I want these buttons all to be the same size. Okay, so what I can do is I can right-click Table Cell Properties, and inside this cell, you can see I'm on the Cells tab, I'm going to change the width to 25, not pixels, but percent of table, and I hit Apply. And it'd be nice if I could do all 3 of these at once. Maybe I can. Let's see if that works. Right-click Table Cell Properties, 25%. Change to percent of table, Apply. And there we go. I don't think it really worked. I think it only worked on one of them because this one's 385. It's much too large still. So, well, let me adjust these. Table Cell Properties. Yeah, I didn't do it for the rest of these. 25% of table. And right-click Table Cell Properties. 25% of table. Apply. There we go. So they're all even now, right? And I don't really like where they're at. They're not centered up, right? So I can just highlight them and hit center, and it'll center them up, which is great. The other thing that I want to do is, you see this table, it's taking up the whole screen, and that's probably okay a lot of times, but let's make it a little different. I'm going to, again, right-click Table Cell Properties. You're going to go there all the time. And for this one, I'm going to go up to Table, all right, and I'm going to do Center, all right, and let's have the table only be 80% of the window. Hit Apply and then OK. And you can see it's kind of squished everything in a little bit. So if I hit Save now, what it's going to ask me is it wants to title the page. The title of the page is what Internet Explorer, Firefox, or Google Chrome, web browsers, what's going to be at the top of the page. It's not necessarily the file name, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So I'm going to call this one sample student work. And I'm going to hit OK. Now, that only saved the title. That's not actually the name of the file. So I'm just going to call this one sample. All right, sample. And where you want to save that is you want to save it in your website folder. Mine's already there. Mine's under desktop website. If you're my student, please save it in your H drive, create a folder called website, and save it under there. Just leave it as one name. All right. Don't have spaces, and you can have it longer. Like if I want to sample work, I could do that, but don't put a space in. It kind of screws things up later for some of the things we want to do. So then I hit save. Okay. So let's see what it's done. So if you launch Firefox, you can go to File, Open File. And I have my folder here, website, and I have some stuff in it. But here's my sample page, so I'm going to open that up. All right, and there it is. So I can hit Control, and I can zoom in and out, and see how it automatically, even though I'm zooming in and out, my buttons and my words move around, but these are always taking up 25%, and the background or the this page is always staying at 80%. So on some computers it might look like this because the resolution's different, and on some computers it might look like this because their resolution's different than yours. So that's the advantage of using percent over pixel. All right, back to this. All right, so it's okay now, but what I want to do is I want to put in some more information under my name, and in fact I want a picture as well. Well, let me show you a couple other things quick, just so you understand. The way tables works is you can have tables inside of tables, because we have this one cell table and we have this 4-cell table over here. Let's say you wanted your table to have your buttons on the left and your content on your right. So the way I would do that is I would insert table and have 2 wide, all right, and on this part of the table I would insert also 4 buttons, 1 tall. See, so my content could be over here, and I can just go up here to the top if I want, and I can just adjust this like that. So I could have my buttons in here instead, and then have my content in here, and then I could just get rid of this table. If you ever want to get rid of a table, just hit the little X and it'll get rid of it. If you want to undo it, Control Z and it comes back. Alright, so I just want you to understand that's one way to format it. And if I want to see those changes, you know, I could put blah 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 in each of these and blah 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 in here. And in Komposzer, or if I save this now, launch Firefox and refresh, it would show those changes. And again, it keeps nice and formatted for me. So for us though, I'm just going to leave the buttons at the top. You can do it any way you want if you would like. Just X this off if you don't want it. You hit those little X's and it gets rid of it. Okay, let's put a picture in. Now, here's one thing I want to show you. If I just let's say I want my picture over here on the right side. So I'm going to go insert picture or image, and I'm going to open image location. I'm going to choose a file, and right now it wants to look inside of here, and right now I have my HTML file in here, right? Here's what I'm going to do though. I'm going to do new folder, and I'm going to have it called images, and I'm going to put all of my things inside of this images folder. So please just drag them into there. If you already have them in there, that'd be great. And so I'm going to go to images now, and here's a picture of a man. This isn't me, it's just somebody I found online. And I'm going to hit OK. And what it needs right now is, sorry, I was just interrupted. Anyways, if you look, it says images/man JPEG. And if we look at our folder, so the way that works is if I have this man JPEG in the images folder, it'll look here where it's at, and here's my man. So that works. Now, if you had that image on, let's say, a different part of your computer, it would have to say C:my document/images/man.jpg. If you ever move it or rename it, it's not going to work. So please make that website folder and the images folder and put everything inside the images folder except for the HTML files, okay, just to keep it all organized. Alright, back to this. So the next thing you gotta do is put in your alternate text. So I'll say, picture of me, even though it's not. And I'll hit OK. Alright. Now right now it's huge, right? And I can just resize it right here, or I could have resized it earlier too. And let's make it nice and small. Let's say, okay, oh yeah, I want this to the right side of the picture. I want my name on the left. If I go right, it puts it all to the right, right? It's not what we really want. We want to keep these separated, and there's really no good way of doing it that'll work right. So instead of doing it that way, what I'm going to say is I would like you to do it this way. I'm going to go insert table and go just 2 wide, And I can just drag that picture into here, and my name, I think I can just cut it out and paste it in here like that. And I don't really need this space up here at the top. Alright, so that's better. Now if we don't really want it this wide, I'm going to just squish it over to the right here. Or again, I could set it to a certain percent of the window size. Maybe want a little bigger than that. It's kind of up to you. And I could maybe stretch this out a little bigger. Alright, there we go. And then John Smith. Now, the name's like right here in the middle of the page, kind of weird. Again, if it has to do anything with what it looks like, right click, table cell properties, and if I look inside the cell, it has vertical alignment right here. They have alignment for the cell and for the table. So under the cell though, I'm going to go vertical, top, horizontal on the left, yes, apply. That looks pretty good. See, I have it up here. And since this is kind of like this web page is all about me, so I'm going to up this size right here. This gets larger and smaller fonts right here. So I'm going to make it pretty large, alright? And then maybe I would put under there my personal information if this is like a portfolio for whatever else. Okay, so I'm going to fill in my information. I'm going to pause it, and you can do. Alright, so I got my information in, so I'm just going to highlight the details, and I'm going to make that smaller just by pressing the smaller A, and it'll go in like that. And we'll fix this issue in the next video. So this is video 1, and go on to video 2. Thank you. Alright, so this is where we left off in the last recording. I just want to point out, when you watch these, I would click this, it should be down in this area. There should be a, it's not full screen, but it makes the screen a little bit larger. That way you'll be able to read the text, but not have to go to full screen, so you should always click that. Anyways, let's get back to this. So I have my information, and you should have yours in. I can highlight this, and then right now they're all spaced out, right? You know, probably don't like that. So just highlight that and do remove all styles, and that will help. Right? And if that's still too spaced out, that's because it's on heading 3. If you change that to paragraph, it'll get rid of some of the spaces. Or maybe I should be going to body text like that. See? So that looks alright. And the reason it formatted it even smaller is because that's what body text is set for right now. But let's say I wanted this a little bit larger. I'm just going to, and you know, there's tons of fonts, guys. Go ahead and pick one you want. Whatever makes sense to you. I'm just going to leave it like this for now. But I'm going to highlight this, and again, you can make it a little bit larger though, so you can kind of read it, and that looks pretty good. So let's say this is kind of the way we want it. You know, one thing you might want to do, and this is up to you, let's say you didn't really like these right here, because you have a lot of negative space here, blank space. You could just highlight that, do Control X, and go up here and paste it, Control V, and that would work as well. I think that looks pretty good that way. So maybe I'll leave mine like that, right? So I'm going to go down here to this one, and I'm just going to X it out. Now, please, like, if you like it the other way, go for it. Keep it the way it is. Now, notice this isn't all the way to the bottom. Some extra space. You can hit delete and try to get rid of that space. That way, if I enter this down, it'll just bump it down like that. You know, maybe I want to adjust this just a little bit, so that way it kind of lines up a little better, something like that. So if I zoom in and out, I would have to save this to see that, but let's say I zoom in and out from here. I got to refresh my page. This is in Firefox now. You can see it, for the most part, it stays in the right position. Again, you can go right click and do table cell properties and adjust that if you'd like. But okay, let's go with that. And then what I want to do is, right now it looks okay, but it's just white, right? So let's say not sure if I like this anymore. Maybe I want it down there. No, I'll keep it there for now. Anyways, let's give it some color and stuff, right? So I'm gonna do Control A. I'm gonna select everything, and I am gonna pick. I could pick a different color or something like that, or whatever else. So let's just do this first, though. I'm gonna right-click in this cell, and I'm gonna go to let's do it down here. Sorry. I'm gonna right click in the cell, go to table cell properties, and in this cell or this table I can set a color. So I'm gonna set like a dark red. Alright, and you can do whatever you want, and I'm gonna hit OK and I hit apply. And you can see it happens to all of it, right? And what I can do then is I can do Control A and take all that text and click on this little black box right here, and I can just choose white, and there that goes. So it looks a little better. I kind of like that. You know, kind of matches the skin better and whatever else. And I'm going to save that. And then the background, like this background here where it's white, I can also change that if I go to Format, Page Titles and Properties, and I'm going to change this. No, I'm sorry. Jeez, what am I doing? go to page colors and background, and right now it's on default, but I can go to use custom colors and I can set my background color to black or something else. Maybe I'll go like red, or a red that's close to it if I want. Maybe that's a little distracting. Usually backgrounds are some sort of gradient or just white. So I'm gonna, instead of this background, let's do page titles and properties. I'm sorry, geez, I did it again. Page colors and background, and you can use a background image. Let's say, and here's a mistake people make. They use a picture like this. They hit OK, and they got like their picture repeating over and over in the background. That just doesn't look good. Please don't do that. Instead, I would suggest going to a website like grsites.com, and they will make you gradients. So for example, if I click on gradients here, I could say, oh, I want like a horizontal repeating one, and I can set the size. Maybe I want 1600, because that's kind of the width a lot of computers display at, or around that at least. And then the height, I can just set this to like 10. It can be really small actually, and I'll show you why. And maybe I'll make it 40 so you can see. Don't matter what you put there though, okay? And then I can choose two colors. Let's say I wanted to go with like that reddish color, and I can do a sign, and then for the other reddish color, a sign, and generate. And you can see what it's done is, if I just scroll down, this kind of shows what it'll look like. It goes from a lighter red to darker red to lighter again. And if I right click on this, I can save image as. And again, I would want to save it inside the images folder. I actually already saved one called background one, so you can do it if you'd like. Or let's say instead you only wanted it to be 200 by 40 pixels, and I'm gonna make it a more dramatic color so you can see the difference, and hit generate. And what that does is make multiple gradients like this. So if I save this, I'll show you in a second what that would look like. Just save that image, just right click on it and save as. Alright, don't hit download, don't do copy to my folder, any of that stuff. Just right click on it, view image, okay? Or I'm sorry, save image as. If you don't like that kind of gradient, you can also go, and they have a bunch here, you can look at these right here if you want. Oh, I'm sorry, if you go to just grsites.com, you'll actually land on this page right here. Just go right up to the top and do textures, and you'll get to this screen. If you go to pattern textures though, you can set a pattern, if you would like to do something like that instead. Or, and don't worry about the pattern, it'll actually repeat itself. Same thing as procedural textures, it'll repeat itself over and over. I like something like really simple, so I'm going to go basic texture. And I'm going to choose just like off-white. I know, terribly exciting, huh? Or like gray. And hit generate, and you'll see that it just turns into something like that. So once you have whatever you want saved, again, you can go to Format, Page Colors and Background, and set your colors. So let's say if I do the gradient thing, it would look like this. And maybe that's not what you want, and you can decide what you want. Or I could go to Page Colors and Background and choose, and choose, I'm going to go with this background instead. Alright, and go like that instead. It's a little more professional, not too distracting, and I'm going to leave it with that. Alright, maybe I could go a little lighter. I'm not going to get too picky right now. And that looks pretty good. What I can do now is, let's save that and look at it from Firefox. Oops, sorry, wrong one. And I can just hit refresh or F5, and it looks like that. Not bad. I don't really like these buttons right here. I don't like how everything's boxed in either, especially this line here between the guy and him. So if in Komposzer, if you don't want that, I could just right click in this area and go to Table Cell Properties again. And if I go to Table, it has border right here, and you can just change that to 0. And if I apply that, it turns it red. Okay. And so if I save that and look in here, if I refresh it, it'll get rid of it like that. That looks a lot better. And I can keep a box around here if I want. It's kind of up to you if you'd like to do that or not. Another thing you could do is just these. I could do table cell properties, and in this table, instead of letting the color show through, I could go with like a gray or something, kind of bring it off the page a little bit. Hit apply, and it looks like that instead. Or I could do table cell properties table, and I could get rid of the border. You do whatever you want. If you don't like that, go for it, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. If I save this, or if I go to preview right here, it also shows it what it would look like in there. And I kind of like that. I don't know, that's just me. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world. It kind of brings my background in with the red and everything else. Maybe instead, and I'm getting really picky here, but maybe instead I'd go with black text at this point. And you can just change it to whatever you want. Please be creative, do whatever you want. And I could change maybe this to, if I want to make it back, match the background a little more, I could go to table cell properties and make this table actually a lighter gray, so that way my text shows up even a little better. Hit apply, okay, and there we go. That looks pretty good. If I go to my preview, it takes off those red little lines, and there we go. So I like this. This is fine with me. I know it's nothing too exciting. This background here, you could make something in Illustrator, or if you want these buttons, you could make buttons in Illustrator. All you would do instead is in this table, you would insert image, and like you could have a button there instead. Like you could make this in Illustrator and just make 4 little JPEGs of each, or in Photoshop or something else. And so that's an option. Alright, and lastly, we need to put our content in, right? So instead of doing content, let's do links first. Right now we have one page created. Alright, it's called Sample Student Work is the title, and the file name is sample.html. So only one file exists, only one page exists. So let's hyperlink these to things that don't exist yet. Alright, and we're doing this because it's going to save us from linking stuff later. I hope this makes sense. So if I highlight personal information and go to link, usually what I would do is I'd go to open file, and I would have a file here called personal.html, or it would be a Firefox document or Internet Explorer document, an HTML file, but it's not there yet, and that's okay. I'm going to trick it, and all I'm going to say is personal.html. Alright, okay, and then same thing with this, awards, honors and interests. I'm going to go to link and just type in awards. Okay. Oh, here's a problem. What I really need to do is make sure, just highlight the text. What I need to make sure I do is do .html every time. Alright, it's not going to work if it doesn't say .html. Link, and this one's going to be academic.html, and then hit OK. And then this one, we're already on sample student work, so we don't have to, but I'm going to go ahead and link it anyways. And this is the way you would do it if there was other, instead of typing in sample.html, I can actually choose the file because it is there right now, and hit OK. So all my hyperlinks are there. I'm hitting save. If this is the way you want your website to look like, save it right here. Make changes before the next thing. Alright? The next thing would be this though. If I go to File, Save As, right now I have the sample page, but what I want to make next, I want to make these 4 pages down here that don't exist yet. So what do I need to name? I need to name them the things I already called them. Okay, so I'm going to call this personal and then .html. I need to save it like that because otherwise my links aren't going to work. Okay, now you'll notice, maybe you didn't even notice this, but look at the top. It says personal.html here, but the page title is wrong. It's sample student work. Okay, so if I go to File, Open File, I actually now have the personal page open. So I'm going to click on sample and hit open as well. And I hope this makes sense to you. They both say sample student work. What's going on? Well, that's because when I saved it, before I did save as, I didn't actually rename this one. So if I'm on the personal.html and this says sample student work, well, that's not right. The way I can change that is go to Format, Page Titles, and I'm going to change this one to, personal information. Alright, great. So now if I hit save, so you have personal, and here's sample student work. And maybe to make this, yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. Great. And then I need to do the same thing with for academic now. So I'm going to go to Save As, and I'm going to do academic information, or whatever you want to call it. And then just hit save. And then I'm going to do File Save As again for, oh wait, I have academic, personal, and sample. Oh, I didn't make awards though, so I'll call this one awards. .html. Save. There. Alright, so I want to open all these up, make sure I have them open. I have right now awards and personal information open, so I need to open up sample and awards. No, academic. So samples open. I know it's kind of confusing right now. But let me explain if you don't understand. See, now I have 3 sample student works, but that's only the title, okay? This academic information, which, ooh, I made a mistake. Okay, this is a good learning moment here. Let's save all these. All right, and okay, now like this one says sample student work, so that one's right. Sample student work, sample student work. This one says awards and sample student work. Well, that's not right. We're not changing the file name, but this one says sample student work. So I'm going to go to table, or format, I'm sorry, page styles and properties. I'm going to change this one to awards. Okay, great. And then this one should be academic. So, oops, I'm going to go to format, page styles and properties, and change that to academic. Alright, cool. And save it. Sorry, you're going to have to go to video 3 now. This one's over. Okay, great. So you should have personal information, and make sure the file name is matching it. So personal for personal information, awards and awards, sample student work, sample, and academic information for academic. And everything should be same. Alright. So what I want to show you now is if you open that folder again, now what you should have is your Firefox documents, your HTML documents. If you're using XP, it'll actually say .html, but we're using Windows 7, so it's not showing up. It just says Firefox document or Internet Explorer document or HTML document, whatever. Anyways, those should be there, and everything else should be in your images folder. So there's my picture, and there's my background, alright, and I got a couple other things in there, and that's what it should look like. Now let's go and open this up in Firefox, alright, and if I refresh, see, look, now my bar's there, and I should be able to click on them. Now, if I click on personal information, see it says personal right here and personal information up here, awards, and awards, it all matches up. Academic information, bam, not working. Alright, I want to say I made this mistake on purpose, but I didn't, and I'll show you what the mistake is. If you look, I linked, it's trying to go to academic.html, and if I open that folder, I don't have academic.html. I have academicinformation.html. Not going to work. Alright, and that's because if I highlight academic information and I go to link, it's looking for academic.html. And I have 2 options. I could go in here and choose academic information, hit OK, and then it's going to work. But I'm telling you, don't do that. Look, it says %20. It's that space thing I was telling you about. I don't want to do that. Instead, let's not change that. Let's change the name of the file. So, academic information, I can go to rename and just change that to academic. And then all of them should work because that file now exists. It always existed, it was just named incorrectly. So if I refresh, even though it says file not found, it should find it then. And it's not. Hold on. Let's try this again. Hit academic information, still not working. Academic.html. Oh, I know what it is. I spelled it wrong. What a noob. So make sure you spell things right. Academic. Okay. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. I don't know. Whatever. Hit refresh. Bam! It's there. Yay! And it should all now be working. So I can click on any of these and it goes there. And you don't really see any changes because there's nothing on these pages, and that's what we're going to look at now. So let's bring it up back in Komposzer here. And what I can do now is I'm going to start putting more stuff in. Now, you know, some people would maybe put another table inside this one. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Insert table, and just one by one table inside here, and I can put all my stuff in here. That just kind of helps me keeps things lined up with everything else that's on the screen. Again, table cell properties. I could have this be a different color. If I go to table, I could choose a background. I'm just going to turn the border off and put stuff in there. Okay. So real big, I'll say like, you know, sample student work. And you could say anything, guys. If you're starting to sell products or have information about yourself, go ahead and do so. And I can just highlight that. Again, change the size, whatever else. Okay. And right here, I'm going to show you how to insert 3 different types of files. Okay. First, let's do a picture. Okay. So let's say I have in here, you know, Illustrator, you know, T-shirt design. All right. And I could like put a little, you know, description in there. All right, I created this, blah blah blah, and I can just take this text and make it bigger. But what I can do is highlight that and go to Link and Open File, and I want to go to Images where it's actually at, and it says nothing there. What's going on? And that's because it's looking for HTML file. But if I drop this down to All Files, it'll let me link anything. So I'm going to click on Blue Crew, hit Open, and hit OK. And see, now it's hyperlinked. I don't know if I like these hyperlinks the way they are, right? Because it's kind of hard to see. So you could highlight that, and let's see if we can just change the color. Let's say I wanted something close to white. If I did like a gray, and that does work for now. Okay. And if I, ooh, you know what? I'm on the wrong page. I want to take all this. I should have been on my sample student work, but I should be able to cut this all out. Control X, go to sample student work, and paste it all in. Alright, I did lose my table. You can make a new table, whatever you want to do. I'm going to hit save, and let's go to Firefox and see if that actually works the same way. I'm going to refresh now. There it is. I click on it, and bam, that's what it does. It brings up a picture. It doesn't show the picture right here. Now I could put it in here, but I just click on it, and it only shows the picture. So you can link a file like that. Alright, let's do another one. Let's say it's a Word document. Same thing. Maybe I'm going to say, I don't know, essay. And then, you know, say something about the essay, and I'm going to highlight that again. I can make it larger, whatever, and I'm going to do link again and open file. See, now it's in this images folder again. It's got to be there, guys. I'm telling you, you got to make sure everything's inside one folder. And then if I go to all files, I have this essay Word document. Hit OK, OK, and then again I can change the text color if I would like, if that gray, or if that color isn't showing up very well for you. And let's hit save. So that way in Firefox again, if I refresh this, instead of opening a picture, if I click on it, it actually brings this up, opening essay.doc. Do I want to open with Microsoft Word? Yes, I do. And then it'll actually open up Word for you, which is great. And then the last one is just a hyperlink. How do you do just a hyperlink? We're not doing a file. Maybe I want it to go somewhere. So for example, let's say I have a project online. I created a program called in Scratch. So let's say I wanted to use this hyperlink, and it'll open up a new web page. So I'm going to copy that link, all right, and then in, oops, sorry, wrong page. I could say, you know, programming project or whatever else, and then description, and then I highlight that and make it larger. And you've seen this a million times now. Okay, and I'm going to link it to. And for that, instead of opening a file, I can just paste it, and it can actually just go to whatever website you want. Alright, I hit OK, and there we go. So it should work out. If I save this and open it in Firefox one more time, refresh it here, see, and I click on Programming Project, and it should go to my Scratch website. Ugh. There you go. So that's about it. I think everything works correctly. And one other thing I just did, I just want to show you, you can actually put in Flash files the same way. So when you click on it, it'll just bring open the .swf if you're using Firefox. So that works as well. But you don't have to do that. It just depends. You know, so pretty much any file you can link to. If it can open up in Internet Explorer or Firefox, it will work. All right. One last thing, you know, you have 4 pages, and people are like, well, what about saving? You know, I forgot to do save as on this one. I got to make sure I'm saving it under academic now. So I'm going to save that one. Yes, I want to replace it. And inside that folder now, I can just delete that old academic information one. So again, a big thing is stress, keep it all in that file, keep things organized. So that way, what I can do is I can take this whole website folder, and then I'm able to take that website folder and then, you know, copy and paste it anywhere, and it should work. I can put it up online once I'm ready to go. It's up to you. And yeah, so once you got it all set, you should be all. If you actually want to put this online, you'd have to find an FTP to upload it, and then host on a website, but that's a different video. So you know, good luck, and if you have any questions, just post them at the bottom, and good luck to you. One other thing, I just thought about this. One other thing you can do is you could also go to format, page type, page colors and backgrounds, and you can set all your custom colors. Maybe you want the normal text to be a certain color, your link color, for example. Maybe you want that to be like yellow or something like that. Maybe you want your visited link to be a certain color. That's up to you. All right. So like that doesn't look very good, I don't think, but that's something you can think about. Something you might want to change. You don't have to have your buttons set up like this. You can put them down the side, you can put them at the bottom or to the right or whatever else. It's up to you. Just kind of have fun with it, and again, hope it works out for you, and good luck.
Hello and welcome to this video series on Komposzer. Now in this video we're going to be talking about templates, and the ease of using templates is, well, it probably goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's easy because basically with templates, whether they're CSS templates or just typical HTML web page templates, there's really a lot of this other stuff up here that you don't have to know anything about, but I wanted you to know about them anyway. That's why I did those videos first before I did the templates video. Otherwise you would have probably just skipped over these. But anyway, I wanted you to experience the joy, if you will, for lack of a better word, of knowing how and learning how to create a certain type of layout for your web page, or the knowledge of being able to insert data tables or create and insert various types of content. Whereas with templates, a lot of times these templates already have accomplished all that for you. All you have to do is put in your text, put in your video, put in your images, or just simply replace the text, videos, or images that are already on these templates. Easy as pie. So let's go ahead and check this out, and go ahead and open up our Komposzer software, and let's play around with some templates. Now before we get into our software, our Komposzer software, I want to first go ahead and open up or at least it's my favorite search engine, that being Google, and let's put in free web page templates and see what pops up. Okay, well, I kind of, spoiler alert, because I got about a little over 10 million results pop up. Now you can always go a little bit off tempo here and go with free templates or web page templates or free web templates, and you'll probably get similar results. But one thing I need to point out though is that whenever you're talking about free website templates or free web page templates, you could be getting into Flash website templates or HTML website templates or CSS website templates. So it's a good idea to have an idea as to what you want before you start diving into downloading free templates. Otherwise, before you know it, you've got a hard drive full of free templates because they all look pretty cool to you. So what you want to do first off is to have an idea as to how you want your website to look, the basic structure. Do you want a nav bar at the top, at the bottom, on the side? How many columns do you want? Do you want an image for a header? Do you want any header at all? Do you want it to be mostly content? So with that visual in your mind, then you can go ahead and start looking for web templates, and don't look so much at the Flash and so on. I'm talking about the way it looks. Don't look so much at the gaudiness or the coolness or the blinky stuff on the or the shiny items on the web templates. Look to see if their basic structure meets your vision, because that's what you want. You can get rid of all their bling bling and make their web template look exactly the way you want, which may not be as theirs looks like at all. So let's go ahead and, without further ado, open this guy up here. See what we got here, because I want to go with HTML templates. So for example, business, we can go with business. I mean, if that's kind of your thing. This XHTML, that's basically CSS, and we touched on that. So if you feel confident enough in making some changes there, then dive right in, because this is going to end up being a very clean website for you. But you want to maintain the CSS. You don't want to just delete all the CSS out and in place of it put HTML. Why? Because you've got plenty of HTML free website templates. So let's go ahead and see what we can find here. Not finding a design you like? Okay, I want a 2-column small header nav bar at the top. So what do we got? Pretty pictures, and just a quick rundown in case you're not familiar with it. The first fold the prime real estate is, for example, what shows up on your browser first and foremost. And remember, this is a little bit smaller than my normal browser settings because of the constraints of the video is placing on it. So the top part of the web page, what first opens up, that's the prime real estate. That's the top fold. And typically people will read from the top left and go to the right. Typically, depending upon what country you're from, but typically top left to the right and then down. So this top left corner of the top fold is the prime real estate. So for example, if you're wanting to build a list, an email list, and somewhere on your page you want to decide, where am I going to put my opt-in box? Best place, top left. Just to kind of let you know, that's just what I found. With that being said, you might want to look for one that already has an opt-in box form on the top left corner. And if we want a 2-column, for example, what else we got here? Popular HTML templates. Oh yeah, and you can see by the number of downloads just how many, this is out there. It's out there quite a bit. This one doesn't look too awfully bad. Let's go with this guy just for the sake of this video. I know it doesn't have an opt-in form up there, but you can put one in. Now what do we have here? Okay, not sure exactly what all this stuff is. Designer homepage. Oh, okay. Duh. Sorry. What we might want to do is download it instead. So let's see what we got when we click on that guy. Okay, let's just click on the actual image. Click here to download. Okay, I figured we'd eventually get to it, but you can get a bit better picture too of what's going on here. You can put your title in here. We can get rid of this entire thing, or however you want to do it. And right in here is some navigation links, which is cool. And you can put some more links over here if you want, or you can just get rid of all of these all together and just have this left column, say for your opt-in box, maybe some front-end sales. You want to advertise other web pages or websites you have. And then we just toss in our content here. And then we got the footer down here at the bottom. So we'll go with this one, again, just for the sake of conversation and example. So let's click here to download 5660. And we're going to download it to our HTML goodies folder. Again, just to keep things kind of organized. Now I've already made a folder in here. I guess I could have showed you how I did that, called template, because I want to just keep everything in for this particular video somewhat organized. And I'm just going to open that up, and we will now download the where are we at here? 5660, wasn't that it? Yeah, 5660. Okay. And there's not a whole lot to it, so it didn't take very long. Now let's go ahead and close this out, or minimize it anyway. Close that out. And open up our HTML goodies folder inside our templates. And I'm using Zip Genius, but if you have Windows Explorer, or hopefully you're familiar enough at this stage of the game to know how to unzip a compressed file. If not, well, there's plenty of tutorials on the net. And this is free, by the way. If you wanted to look for Zip Genius, just do a Google search for it, and I'm sure you'll come across it fairly easily. So open up this folder here, and somewhere in here we're going to get these. Okay, so here's images here, here's some images here, Java, so there's something to do with some JS stuff in here. Okay, it might be a little video or some kind of something in here, but let's go ahead and open this up in our Komposzer software. Got our Komposzer software opened up here, and let's go to open. And you could have gone to file open as well, just to let you know. HTML goodies, template. Dig deep and open that up, and bada bing, bada boom, here we go. So this isn't too bad, actually. Got our contact up here. I myself am a little bit hesitant on that, but you can replace this by simply highlighting it. And this is just a basic link, and if you hold your mouse over, you can see where it's going to right now. Just the basic default fake email address. You can go up here to link and just put in your email address here, and make sure this box is ticked, because this tells everybody that, hey, the above is an email address. So that's how you would change that. Well, for example, let's just change this to George at gmail.com. Don't worry, George, wherever you are, whoever you are, I'm not sending you an email. But the rest of this is fine and dandy the way that it is. And okay, so it goes there, but it didn't change it. Okay, let's go ahead and change the actual. I thought it might change the text there as well. So to change the text, you got to change it here as such. And now then when you hover over it, it will change the color, which is pretty cool. Well, that's probably that JS or the JavaScript stuff. And then hold your mouse over and you'll see where it goes to. Okay, so that's cool. And the rest of the stuff here, we can just change the title. If you wanted to, you could probably go in and insert an image here just by going up here to Insert Image. And you want to make sure that it's, you know, the same dimensions. Oh, what do we got here? I'm not sure what this is, but okay. That's the image we had in a prior video. And it basically replaces that. It just goes over that color and text or design that was in the background. Then undo that. Change the title. These links here, they're active links, but they're only placeholders. To change these links, of course, you want to, like we did with the email address up here, just highlight it. For example, we'll highlight this one here. Okay. Highlight the whole thing and change it to home. And then you can just right click on it. Okay, not going to right click on it, but you can click on it and let's just highlight it, shall we? And then go up here to Insert, oh goodness, Link. And then here you can type in index.html because we want this to be our home. And you see here, this is not an email address, so don't tick that. Click on that. Click OK. And now when you hover over this, you can see it's going to index.html, which, by the way, is the file or the page that we're on right now. But bear with me because we want, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Let's say this one will be for FAQ, Frequently Asked Questions. So we want to highlight that and hold our control key down on our keyboard and hit the letter L as in link. And replace the hash sign or pound sign or whatever you want to call it, number symbol, with FAQ.html. Now, of course, we don't have this page in existence just yet, but we're going to create it. And we're going to create it after we're done doing all of our changes here, because rather than making each one of these changes 5 different times, we make all these changes once and then just create these 5 different pages. Boom. And then each one of those 5 pages resembles or has already taken on all of these changes. Again, without having to do these changes each and every single time. So you get the idea, hopefully. So let's go ahead and, well, you know, you can get rid of this. It's just a good image. You can replace this image with any other image that is of its same size if you want. And you can see if you hover over this, it tells you where it's located at, a little box there, PIC/lorem ipsum, that's just lorem 01. So if you wanted to, you can right click on this and go to image properties, and it should give you the dimensions: width 200, height 151. So if you want to maintain these exact same diameters and such, where the text is to the right of the image, or actually the image is to the left of the text and it wraps, then you just simply replace this image with one that has the exact same size, and you can name it the exact same thing if you wanted to go that route. Or you could simply just put another image here. Just go up here to Insert, Image. You just put this image in there, and boom, we've got an image in there. And of course, it's not, the text is not wrapping now because it takes up the entire width of that particular table. But you get the idea how easy it is to insert an image there. And if you wanted to, you could just hit your delete key or your undo key, and while you have this highlighted, hit your delete key, boom, you get rid of everything. you can get rid of all of this and simply start from scratch. If you want to get rid of this table altogether, you could either go into the source code here and do so, or right here, if you hover over this, you got the two arrows and then the red or the circle there with the X in it. You just click on that, boom, and you get rid of all of that. So now you're basically starting from scratch. Now if I put my mouse here and go over, holding my left mouse button down and dragging it to the right, you can see how these have turned blue. I've got both of these highlighted. So if I right click, come down here and join selected cells, now I've got one cell. So I can put my content in here, and we've still got the footer at the bottom, and this here, you might want to leave this in here just because it's, you know, a good free advertisement for the people that you got this from, or you can just get rid of it. And make sure you change the footer date over here, put in your domain name, you know, just kind of give it a quick look over before you send it live. And let's go ahead and browse now, see what it looks like on the web browser. Drag this over here. So if we were to change our title here, you know, as you can see, we got this and this. It's actually a pretty cool looking site. You know, if you're into this kind of a color scheme. But there's just so much you can do with these templates. Again, the key thing you want to keep in mind before you even head up these or go to these free template sites is you want to get a basic idea as to how you want your site to look. Header image, header text. Do you want a navigation bar at the top or on the side, or top, side, and bottom? How many columns do you want? Do you want an opt-in box on the left, the right, or at all? And then that's what you're wanting to look for, is a template that basically has the skeleton or the basic construction of what you are wanting to end up with. Then you just come in and delete what you don't want off of that free template after you have saved as. So this way, whatever you save it as is fine and dandy, but you are not messing up the original template. So again, no big deal. It was free. You can go and download it again if you want. You still got the zip file if you want, but this way you've got the original intact, so you can go back and utilize it for other projects you've got too. So as soon as you open it up in Komposzer, you want to go up here and save as, give it a name that you want, you know, index 2, my site, whatever, and then you go in here to the source and come on up to the top in between the title tags, and then title that, and then come on back and then click on save, and you're good to go. Then just make whatever changes you want, and from that point on you are working on your website, your web page. And that's pretty much it. I just wanted to introduce you to the ability of being able to use web templates that somebody else has spent their hard-earned time on, so you don't have to. In this case, there's a gazillion of them out there. As I had pointed out, there's over 10 million on the one search results page that I showed you on Google. So get out there, find you some web pages, some free web templates you can play around with, and if nothing else, that's a good learning tool as well. See how those templates are constructed by going to the source code. And you know, this could give you some ideas on how you can construct, maybe not so much in this case, that particular template or your particular website, because you want to stay focused, but it can definitely teach you a lot about how HTML goes together. So that's pretty much it for this video, and we're going to be wrapping it up on the next video on publishing or making a website go live. Thank you much for watching this video, and have a great day.
Hey, what's up? Today I'm going to tell you how to embed a YouTube video onto your website in Komposzer. So first you open up the video on YouTube. So this kind of looked interesting, but I wasn't going to put it on my website. I'm just going to be an example. So because my first video is my first video, so I was going to put this one on here. So first you put in what you want. So I want it to be called Is this true? Make it decent looking. I'll change the color to blue. you place it exactly where you want it. So I want it to be right there. So then you go to your YouTube video, press share, press M, and then they'll give you a code. If yours says that it is not available or something by request, that's because the people who put it on YouTube don't want this video on a person's website. But I guess this one's fine. So you get the code. You either do it manually by right-clicking, copy, or you can just do Control C. Oh crap! Then you press Insert HTML. You paste the tag or press Control V, or right-clicking and pressing Paste. That's all that they give you. Press Insert. Press save. You open it up. And you have your video. You can play it. And you have it. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form. Subscribe. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, so today we're going to learn how to use Komposzer. So let's open Firefox. And in the search bar of google.com, type in Kompozer, K-O-M-P-O-Z-E-R. And then click on the first link there. And it says download Komposzer for Windows, but that is the zip archive. So instead you go up here to downloads there, and then you'll see here it says installer, and that's the one you want. So let's look for English, then click download. Again, then press save, and then just wait for it to download. Komposzer is it's called WYSIWYG HTML editor. Basically stands for what you see is what you get. It's very visual and doesn't require a lot of skill, but there are still options there for the more advanced users. So now we open Komposzer here. I'm gonna run the installer, and then we press run. Press next, accept, next, next. Then we install it. And then we can use Komposzer to open up any HTML file. Okay, so here we have the design. This is the very rather for more basic users. and then here down here it says source, and then here we can see the code for the HTML web page. And so let's open file, and then we'll see how we can embed some YouTube videos in here. Okay. Okay, so you can see this blank page, right? So let's go to source down here. You'll see all this breaks. That's the BR that basically has the same effect as pressing return repeatedly. So this is just empty space. You can see here. Okay, so let's go to YouTube here, and let's find a video that we can embed into this website. So let's open that file now. Why don't we open that file in a web browser just to see how it looks. So even though Komposzer tries to make it look like the way it would look on in a web browser, but that's not always the way it does look in reality. Okay, so let's find a video here. Why don't we find let's see. So let's click on a rather one of my favorite videos here, the Quantum World by Symphony of Science. The procedure would be the same for any video. So this is the video itself here, so we go right there to where it says share, and then it says embed.
Product not yet rated.
So then here we can choose the size of the frame, right? I usually have, let's say 640 by 360, and let's not have any suggested videos at the end. And then we can just copy this, and then we can easily just go down maybe 1, 2, or 3, press enter, and then paste it there. So right click, paste, and then we go back to design. It's gonna load a little bit, and then there you go, that's the video. But Komposzer is not really a web browser, so you won't be able to see it. And then here we can let's choose just choose a font there, and then we can say, let's call it the Quantum World. And here we can also choose, make it a little bigger, and then we can change the color as well. Let's make it sort of purple, and then let's save it. Press Ctrl S, so we can go up here to File, and then press Save. You can see the shortcut is there. And then now why don't we go back here? Let's close this one. Now we press Ctrl or refresh there. Let's refresh it, and there you go. It's the Quantum World by Symphony of Science Melody Sheep. And then we can play the video.
Okay, what we're going to look at in this session is putting tables into Komposzer. We've looked at using Dreamweaver in class. It's a very similar process. If you want to practice at home, you can try it with Komposzer instead. So before we start, I've got a folder full of images that I've prepared already, and you'll notice as my mouse is rolling over them, dimension sizes are coming up and they're all 480 pixels wide. So if I just pick the Beetham's Tower and double click on it, you should be able to see, if I come over here, look at the size, I've made that 480 wide, and the reason is I want it to come halfway across my web page, okay, with text taking the other half of the page up. So if I just come out of that, close that down, and you also notice I've made my banner. If you look at this, this is 960 wide. Okay, so if we just zoom in here and get the details, so that's 960 dots wide, so that's twice the width of the pictures. And the reason this is 960 wide is that on most people's computer screens, you can assume, and this will change over time as people get better and better monitors, but you can assume that from this point on the screen here on the left hand side all the way across to the far right hand side of the screen, that most people have got something that's about 1024 pixels wide from there to there. Now the trouble is, when you open a web browser, you have stuff like the scroll bars at the side and the frame around it and what have you. So what happens is you lose a few pixels. So what we do is we take that and we say, okay, as a safe bet, let's make sure all our web pages are 960 pixels wide, which probably comes from about there to there. So we give ourselves a bit of slack by defining our website as being that wide. And to do that, what I've done, I say I've gone to my banner and I've made my banner 960 wide, and that's going to govern the size of the web page. Okay, so with all that in mind, let's come over to Komposzer. Now I should point out that my screen at the moment is only 800 pixels wide to allow you to see things a bit more clearly, but I'll change that at the end, at the relevant moment, so you can see the results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a website as normal. So click on this little symbol. If you're in Dreamweaver, it's site, define site at the top of the screen, and I'm going to come in here, desktop, Modern Manchester, so that's the folder with all my pictures in it. Call it anything I like. Click OK. So you should be able to do that fairly straightforward now. And if I click on the little arrow on the right hand side of the screen here, you can see all those pictures that we were looking at a minute ago are all in here. Now, what we've got at the moment is, if I take the, not using tables, but if I take the Modern Manchester banner and drop it in there, okay, and then what I'm going to do, I say yours will be the full width of the screen, and then I'm going to get a picture. So let's get a picture of the Trafford Centre, drop that in there. If it's gone in the wrong place, just rid of it. So just get me flashing cursor in the right place this time. Trafford Centre, pop it in there. Okay, so we should be able to see that we've got the banner at the top that runs all the way across. Okay, and I've got a picture of the Trafford Centre. That's pretty much what we've been doing so far. If I want to, I can see what that looks like in a web browser. So I'll click on Browse. Do I want to save it? Yes, I do. So let's give it a title. If you're doing this in Dreamweaver, you just type it up at the top of the screen before you do this. But just call it Manchester, call it anything we want. Where do we want to save it? And we always want to save it in the folder with all our pictures, because we want to keep everything together, because it's nice and neat, and that's the only way your website will work in the end. So I open that folder up, and because it's my first page, obviously call it index, save. Okay, just click on browse again. Okay, so you can see that what we've got here is the banner, picture of the Trafford Centre. But if I wanted the Trafford Centre to appear over on this part of the screen here, I couldn't using this method, because everything either aligns left or right, but we'd have all sorts of trouble doing that. So what tables let us do is lay out a page so it looks more like the web pages that we used to see in every day. So I'm just going to delete both of these, so delete that. So I'm just clicking on it, pressing delete on the keyboard, and what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to add a table. Okay, so just at the top of the screen here, table symbol. There's a similar one in Komposzer, in Dreamweaver. So click on table, and you can chuck stuff in here. You can define how big the table is, but I'm going to suggest we go to precisely here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, right, I want 3 rows going across. Okay, so I want a top row, middle row, and a bottom row. So I want 3 rows, and I want number of columns, so number going down, I'm just going to have 2. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to say how wide do I want this to be. So I'm going to say it's going to be 960 pixels wide. If you remember, that's how wide we want the website to be. That's how wide the banner is. And just make sure you do leave this on pixels and you don't accidentally put it on percent or something like that. And the other thing, because it looks really nasty, we just make sure the border is set to 0. Otherwise, the website looks very old-fashioned. Okay, so we click OK. So I'll just zoom in on that so you can see those settings. Then click OK, and we should get a table that appears here on our main window. Now, because it's dotted, it means that you won't actually see this table. It's just there for our benefit. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, and if you've done tables in Microsoft Word, you'll know about merging cells together. It's because I want my banner to go all the way across. I don't need 2 boxes at the top. I don't need 2 cells. So I can just select both of those, and I can go to Table, Join Selected Cells. You can see that what's happened now is those 2 have been merged together into one big cell, which is 960 pixels wide, which means that when I grab the banner and just drop it into that cell, it should be a perfect fit all the way across. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a picture of the Trafford Centre, but I'm going to put it so it's on the right hand side of my screen here, in this cell over here. So I come down, Trafford Centre picture, drop it in, and you may find it goes a bit skew width. Okay. Now you'll see it's not where I want it to be. So if I was in Dreamweaver, what I would do is I would come over here and I would click on this vertical line, and then I could click and drag it across. In Komposzer, we come up to the top here, and there's a little grey bar here at the top of the screen. We use that instead in Komposzer. So you see that my cursor's changed to 2 arrows, and I should just be able to make sure I'm on the right cell, and I should be able to just pull it across. And if I lose it, I just click on the cell again just to reactivate it. You can see it's almost at the right hand side now. And there we go. So I've just pulled it across, just shunted it across in Komposzer. So you can see how I've got my page laid out now. Then I might say in this cell here, on the left hand side, again we wouldn't be able to do this using the other methods, just the basic methods, but now we could put some text into that cell. So I'm just going to click on the text file, find the text for the Trafford Centre, and just edit, copy, come back to our Manchester site over here just by clicking on the tabs up here, and edit, paste. You can see my text is now in there. I've got my picture on the left hand side. I can play around with the text if I want, so I can highlight it and say okay, let's change its font. I can highlight this bit here and make it bigger and bold. Okay, and if I wanted to, I could change its colour. Yeah, so I can just simply play around with stuff, and you see it's beginning to look a lot more like a web page. So if I click on Browse now, save it, and you can see it's beginning to look quite nicely laid out as a web page. Now, obviously, as I said earlier, to make this easy for you to see, I resized my screen down to only 800 dots wide, 800 pixels wide. So that's why it's going off the edge of the screen. Because what you'll see in there is from here on the left hand side all the way across to here is 800 dots. But still got another 160 here to make up the 960 that disappears off the edge of the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close that down, and I'm going to resize my screen to a more traditional size. Okay, so it's 1024. Okay, so what I've done is I've resized the screen so it's just over 1000 pixels wide. So if I browse now, we should see something more closely resembling what the average person will see when they come to have a look at your website. Okay, so you can see it fits neatly on the screen all the way across. It's nicely laid out, clear and easy to read. Okay, and that's all thanks to tables. And the only thing to bear in mind is when you're designing your site, if I bring up a graphic here, for instance, so just let me bring that full screen so we can see it. Okay, if I'm defining a site, all I know is I make my banner 960 pixels across, all the way across there, and then all I need to do then is make sure that everything else I design adds up to 960. So you can see I've got 710 there, 250 there, adds up to 960 all the way across. And if you plan that out, and then it's just a case of counting how many rows and columns you've got. So I've got 1, 2, 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, and that's basically laying out your website using tables.
Hello and welcome to this video series on Komposzer. Now in this video we're going to wrap it all up, and this is the final video in this series. This is going to show you how you can publish your web pages with Komposzer without the need of having any outside assistance from this FTP client or that FTP software. You can do it all from Komposzer. This again is not a cheap software. This is an inexpensive software. Hey, it's free. What can you say? But I would say that Komposzer is probably one of the best open source HTML editors on the market right now, and it can only get better because of being open source. You got a team of people that are doing it all for the mere pleasure of having done so, I guess. I've never worked on a team with open source or over there at SourceForge, so I wouldn't know personally, but I know that whoever is doing it is doing a knockout job. Thank you very much. Take your hats off, folks, to these people. They're doing a great job. Anywho, that being said, let's go ahead and open up our software, Komposzer, and publish our web pages. Okay, now I went ahead and opened up our Komposzer software, and if you, like me, wanted more room to work with in your composition area and you got rid of the site manager, no biggie. All you got to do, because you kind of want to bring that back, the publishing aspect of it, is you go up here to View, come over here to the Show High, come down here and click on Site Manager, or of course you could hit the F9 button on your top row of your keyboard, do the same thing. Now what we want to do is get us something over here we can publish, because we go here to click on the Edit Sites to add our new sites, and right now we don't have any in here. And you can put in here as many as you want, because what we're going to do is we are not going to have to use an outside FTP client like QtFTP or FileZilla or one of the gazillion other ones that are out there, or even the very slow Windows Explorer, which yeah, you can do it with that as well, but it's really not secure and it's very slow, and I don't even want to go into it. But with this publishing aspect and the site manager, we don't have to go to those outside FTP clients. We can do it all from right inside of here. And did I mention that Komposzer is free? Oh goodness, I get excited every time I think about it. Okay, so what we want to do now, we got this guy open. Let's open up something here. Let's go ahead and open up that template that we messed with in the last video. Let me see where we at. There we go. Okay, and yeah, we got the image there. That's cool, because I want to show you something cool here. So now none of the changes took place here because this is the one that we didn't mess with. So we want to first go to, you've made all of your changes, you're ready to publish your page, bada bing, bada boom, you're ready to go. So we go here, click on Edit. We want to go to New Site. That's cool. And up here, the site name, you know, like it says here, when you put your mouse over it, it gives you the little box there. Just name it anything you want so that it has really no bearing on anything. So you can name it George's site, my site, hey you, whatever. But I'm going to put in my tester site. And here you want to put in the home page. Like it says here, the HTTP address of your home page. And in my case, it is the stagingserver.com. And let me see down here. Want the FTP address, and if you're not sure of this information, you can get this from your hosting company, your HostGator, your GoDaddy's, your whatever you want to, whatever your hosting company is. You should have this written down somewhere, folks, but if not, then you want to get it from them, and just remember it, write it down somewhere, for crying out loud. That's what I need. And most of the time it's going to start off with an FTP. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you won't need this part here. All you need is the FTP dot. Again, if you're not certain what it is, get the info from your web server. Now, I want to, in my case, and it may be the same in yours, but as it points out here, you may have an additional directory you have to upload your stuff to. You can't, a lot of times you cannot upload it directly to your domain name. And most of the time it's like public_HTML, such is the case in mine anyway. So I need to put that in there, and then public_HTML. And if it's a different folder, then likewise, you just, again, if you're not certain, go to go to your web server, web hosting company, and get the info from them. Username and the password is, and I would say go ahead and click on save password, because otherwise there's going to be times whenever you're going to upload and whatnot that the program may ask for your password again if you don't have this ticked, and if nothing else you'll have to type all this stuff in every time otherwise, so just tick on that. New site, and then boom, there we go. And actually you don't have to do that, but if you've got other sites that you want to possibly upload to with other pages you're going to be working on, load them all up in here, buddy. Load them all up in here. That's what this is for. This is a FTP client, just like your files Zillas or your WSFTPs or your Smart FTPs or Qt FTPs, only this doesn't cost you nothing, and it's all wrapped into one program called Komposzer. Okay, so we're good to go with it. Now then, right here we are. Let's go ahead. We've made our changes, and we want to publish this guy. So we can go up here to publish. Brings this up. What do we got here under settings? I'm not really sure. Pretty much what we just inserted earlier. Yep, that's the right folder. Okay, now one thing I want you to notice though is that here under kind of right down here at the bottom. Oh yeah, the page title. Again, if you got a different title you want to put in here, by all means do so. But here you want to tick this, use the same location as page, or use this site subdirectory. What I would do, and this is the cool thing about this software, is if you tick this, go in here and you've got a separate images folder. There you go. And now then it will put this image not in the same folder as your index.html, your public_HTML, but it will put it in the separate folder known as images. And this is assuming, of course, you've already got this folder named or made on your server. I don't think it will create the folder. It will only put the images in the folder named this. So if you don't have a folder on your web host on your server already named images, you may want to do that before you do this. Okay, now then, that being said, click publish. Over here it should give you a green check mark when it's all done, and we're good. Cool. See how easy that was? Now then, let's go to our browser and see if it worked. Okay, that's the one on my desktop here. And there we have it, the stagingserver.com, and there we go. And we've got the images showing up here. Everything is as it should be. Ain't that cool? And oh, and if you want to make a change, for example, let's say we wanted to put a subheading right here in between these two paragraphs. Well, let's go ahead and do that real quick. Come on back here, and right in here, give it a little space. Come on up here. Subheading. And let's give this bad boy, let's say an H2. Okay, and let's save. Looks good. Overwrite it, and let's see how it treats this as far as if it's going to ask us, because I'm not really sure yet. See if it's going to ask us, do you want to overwrite the existing index.html file or not? So let's just go ahead and publish. All this is the same. Everything's cool. Click on publish. I guess it didn't ask us, so hopefully we had the changes we wanted. Now let's go back to our browser and refresh and see if that pops in right up in here. There you go. That's how you can make changes on the fly. That's how you can publish within Komposzer. That is how powerful the software is. This is just awesome. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what additions they can add to this free software down the line. So stay tuned, folks. Thank you very much for checking out this video series on Komposzer, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a lot. So if you haven't yet, get out there and download your copy of Komposzer. Thank you much for watching, and have a great day.
Welcome to the 10th EnView Komposzer tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be covering how to embed a YouTube video directly into the HTML coding of our web page. This is a pretty fun tutorial and I hope you enjoy it. For this one we're going to go into our site manager, again opening our Com201 course and opening up the vid.html page. Once you've done that, we're going to go through the same steps you've been becoming accustomed to. Right click, table cell properties, coming into our cell and checking the two boxes here. We're going to select top, select center, and then select OK. And that'll put our cursor up here. We want to then insert our nested table again. Again, coming over here to table and insert, and then selecting table. We're going to do a 1-column 3-row table, and I'm going to select there, and I'm going to double click, and again make sure you switch from cells here to table. I'm going to switch this back to a 600 pixel table, 0 again, 0 again, for the cell padding, and our table alignment again in the center. We'll select OK. Now we need our title of our page, and this is going to be the Com201 embedded video page. And we want to format this just like we've done with all of our other ones, heading 1, selecting down here. And this is where we're going to actually be putting in our embedded video. Before we move on, just go ahead and hit Control S just to save what we've done so far, since we're going to be going on to the web. This is where you should have already completed creating your YouTube account and uploading the video you created earlier in the course on YouTube. We're going to embed that video in here. For today's purposes, I'm just going to show you a video that I found on the Google Nexus 1 telephone or cellular device. Again, YouTube is owned and operated by Google, which was YouTube was created actually by an IUP student, Chad Hurley, which I'm sure you know, but a pretty neat thing about IUP. So moving on to this, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and minimize EnView, and I'm going to open into your web browser here. And again, I'm using Google Chrome. It's a little different. If you're not using that, you can open up whatever web browser you want. Doesn't matter. And just navigate to that site or that page that has the video for the Com201 course. And then towards the bottom, and then again, if this changes in the time, if YouTube has changed this when you view this tutorial, just look around. You're going to be able to find the embed button somewhere on this page. And I'm going to select embed, and you'll see here, boom, drop down menu comes up, and this is the coding. And what's really cool, YouTube has come such a long way with how they put this stuff in here. We can check all these different boxes, and we can do show border, we can enable a privacy enhanced mode, we can have it play in HD, and you'll notice here, look at what happens to the width if we have it play in HD. So I'm actually going to undo that for now and let people make those changes on their own. So I'm not going to have any of these selected. So I'm going to actually come off of here and then select embed again, and it's going to change those. So I don't want to uncheck included related videos. So I'm going to have show border. If you want to pick the different pages that you want, you can do that. I'm also going to change my resolution. I don't want it to be that large. If someone wants to view the website a little larger, they can leave this and go right to the page in YouTube. So I'm going to just select the 580 by 360, and once I click on that, you'll notice that it changes it right up here as well. So now that my coding is ready to go, if I just click in there, they make it very easy. They highlight it all for you. So the only thing you have to do is right click on it and copy that HTML coding. And once you've done that, you can minimize. And I suggest you minimize in case you make a mistake. You don't want to have to come all the way back and find this. So go ahead and minimize your web browser and then open back into EnView. Now that we're back in EnView, we're going to be inside our second row. That's where we're going to embed this YouTube video. And to do that, we have to actually look at our source HTML coding. That's what's going on basically behind the scenes of our web page. EnView is allowing us to edit almost like we're editing a Word or PowerPoint document. It's a little different, obviously, but still it's pretty neat in the power that it has to put in the coding for us. You can see here all of these codes. First, the down at the bottom here, the body, table, and then over to our rows, and then onto our nested table with inside that, we're in this particular cell, which is this TD tag. And that's where we're going to have to embed this coding. And what I'd like to do is actually format this first so that it plays right in the center of this cell. So I'm going to right click inside the cell, table cell properties, and we're going to put in vertical, horizontal. I want this to be vertically at the top and horizontally in the center. I'm going to select OK. And now we can actually, let's go ahead and hit Control S to save what we've done, and then go to the source coding. Now notice here when I click normal, you see my cursor blinking here. When I select source, it's going to jump directly to that part of this. All of this coding is your website. Up here you have your CSS, you have all of the parts of your page. Here's for your first table, and then our nested table inside of here as well. And this is where we want to put that code from YouTube into that particular cell. So coming right in here again, I'm going to right click, paste, and boom, you have all of this text. Look at that text. That is what it will link. A permanent link is created to that YouTube clip. As long as that YouTube clip is not taken down, it will be continually linked here on your page. And then you can select normal. And when you select normal, the page will have increased. You won't be able to really see what has happened inside your page yet, but when we actually browse this, you will be able to. So go ahead and hit Control S to save that right now. So again, as if it looks like the YouTube video is not there, it is actually there, and we can, to check this out, just make sure again you hit Control S and you've saved. And then let's go up to Browse, and let's open up our default web browser. And you're going to notice here, now I'm in Chrome, and Chrome's giving me an Adobe Flash Player security, and it's basically saying, is this okay? And I want to say yes, it is okay for them to play this video. And look, right in here, I'd put that border on there. Here's our YouTube video. We can select play. It's going to load the video, and I'm just going to kind of pause that out so it doesn't play the whole thing. But you can see here, under our, and I apologize, I'm looking at different tabs, you can see here our video right inside of our COM 201 course portfolio. You can change the resolution that it was recorded in. You can even bring it into full size, which is a really neat feature that YouTube just puts right in. It gives you a lot of power. So that does work. If yours isn't there, just try to repeat the steps that we've gone over to get that link to be put inside there. And now I'm going to minimize my web browser and go right back into EnView to finish this out. What we want to put here at the bottom is in this our bottom row. I'd like you to put in a brief description on how you were able to embed that video. Just a brief description on how you were able to embed that video. So I'm going to put in how to embed a YouTube video. I'm going to put in a colon there. Actually, I'm going to take out that colon. I'm just going to keep this, and we're going to change this formatting. Let's put it in a heading 2, and then go ahead and enter down below. And again, you can do this in a word processing program of your choosing, and then copy and paste it in below. But again, just a brief paragraph describing how you go about embedding that to anyone who is just viewing your page and doesn't know how to embed a YouTube video. This will give them a nice experience as they view your COM portfolio page. Alright, we are done with this tutorial, so go ahead and hit Control S, or again File and Save, and that will save this part, and you can move on to the next tutorial. Welcome to the 11th EnView Komposzer tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to tackle the projects page. So go ahead and get it open into EnView, again into our COM 201 site, and we're going to open up the proj.html page. And that's going to be this page here, and I want to get you started with this. This is going to be a little different as how we kind of tackle this one, almost like your My Choices page. For this project page, first we want to right click, Table Cell Properties, and get this set up under cells here for vertical and horizontal of top and center, and then selecting OK. So now our cursor is going to be blinking here, and we're ready to put in our nested table again. So we go up to menu bar, insert. It's kind of like deja vu, happening all over again for you. We have inserting our table. We're going to put in a one column, and we're actually going to do 6 rows here. So we have lots of space. Then we're just double click inside of any one of those cells and select table. We're going to change this again, 600 pixels, no border, no spacing, 2 padding, and then we're going to actually center this here. So I'm going to have center for the table alignment, just like all the other pages. And we can select OK. Now we need to put in our title here in the first one. So we're going to put in COM 201 projects page, and that's going to be the title for this one. It's highlighting it here, and then coming up to the formatting toolbar and selecting a heading 1 format for this. Now that we have your COM 201 projects page title put up here, we're going to go down to where we're actually going to put all of your projects linked here. To do that, we want the title of the project. I'm just going to keep it generic with title of project, but you're going to actually put in the title of all of your projects, and you can pick the order that you want to put those in, maybe from favorite to least favorite. However you want to do that is up to you. And under each one, we're going to select that, and we're going to change that text to a heading 2. And then below that, I'm going to hit enter, and I want you to put in a brief description of the assignment. You can even put in just a reflection on what you thought of the assignment, what you got out of the assignment. And then lastly, we actually need to link this to the assignment that you've created. Before we can go ahead and link the title of our projects, we need to make a projects folder to maintain the organization of our site. To do that, we're going to be minimizing and going down to the desktop just to kind of show you this process. I'd like you to hit Control S just to save what we've done so far now. And then come up here, we're going to minimize. You can see here I have one project. I would ask that you have all of the files that you've created, the location open. You don't have to have them on your desktop. If it makes it easier for you, you can go ahead and copy them to your desktop. But you want every project you've created for this course here, minus your photographs that you've created, and also minus the YouTube video that you created. We have separate dedicated pages for this. We don't need those projects in here. And then you want to open into the documents or wherever you have put your course. I'm going to select here my COM 201 course, open up last name underscore COM underscore 201 site, and then you'll notice inside here we have all of our pages, and we also have our images folder. Along the same line as images, we're going to create a root folder for our projects, and we're just going to call those projects. Lowercase is no problem. I'm going to open up that folder, and I'm going to actually copy this assignment into this part so that there is a copy of this assignment. Now make sure that it is the most up-to-date version or copy of this assignment. Let's say I edited this one after I've already copied it into here, and I want people to view the newest one. I'm going to have to replace this one with this one. So be sure that you know which ones you're copying in there, and it is the file that you want to be in there. So you should have all of your projects in there. I'm just going to use the one for this demonstration. I'm going to exit out of this so we don't need this any longer, and I'm going to go ahead and open back into EnView. And then once I'm in EnView, I am able to select the title of the project, and I'm going to select over here to link this. I'm going to select link here on our composition toolbar. I'm going to select choose file. And again, now it's still going back to our images site, which is fine, but we want to go out of that and into the root folder. We're going to then open up our projects page, and again, this is saying HTML files. It's not. I'm just going to select all files, and that will allow me to make sure I can find all the different types of files that you guys have been creating through this course. And I'm going to select the one file of this project. Again, I just have a generic name here. You'll have the actual file name of each project placed in there. I'm going to select open for it, and then I'm going to select OK, and that will have that linked there under the title of project. And you're going to want to repeat this process for every single project you've created for this in each one of these cells, meaning one project and one description for each one. And then once you've completed that, you can move on to the next tutorial. So we are done for this part. Go ahead and finish up by putting in all of your projects here. If you need to insert a new row, just right click in the last cell here, table insert, and we can put a row below or a row above. It doesn't really matter unless you have a specific order that you want your projects to be displayed in. Congratulations on finishing this. You can move on to the next tutorial. Make sure you save before you exit. Welcome to the 12th EnView Komposzer tutorial. In this tutorial we don't really have anything else to edit or make, but what I wanted to do is take a final tour of the website you created. Opening again into EnView, I'm going to open up my index.html, and again you should have your site description here now. You should have your about the creator, so this should be a pretty lengthy page. We want to then browse this page, and it's going to open up into our preferred web browser, and then we can actually go ahead and start viewing our page by selecting projects. And again, in your projects you should see all of these linked here to each individual project that you created, and then allow the person to either download or view, depending on the file type, that project that you created. We can then go over here to our embedded video and check out our YouTube video. Again, you can see here the Nexus 1 video that I have, but this one should be the YouTube video you created for this class, in this COM 201 course. Then I can move on to my photo gallery. You should have all of your photos here, not these sample photos, but your actual photos. And if they click on them, user will be able to move on to a larger version, or the actual size version, I should say, of that file. And then going on to the My Choice page, which I'm very excited to see what is produced from this page, given all of the skills and techniques that you've learned throughout the course. really taking this and running with it. Should have a pretty dynamic website now. And if we go over here to the top part, we can select that. It'll take us back to our home page. This concludes all of the NView Komposzer tutorials directly relating to creating your website. It's now up to the next unit where you will deploy your website to the IUP web space and be able to view your actual website and share it with friends to show them what you've been working so hard on. You'll actually also be registering this site with a search engine to kind of optimize the chances of your website being discovered in a search engine such as Google or Yahoo or even MSN or Bing. I hope you've enjoyed this project. I think you have a great final course portfolio to showcase all of the work that you've put in.
Hello, welcome back to this video series on Komposzer. Okay, in the last video I showed you how to create this table which will contain all your content. We set up a header and a footer image, and in the center we're going to start entering our content. Now obviously the easiest thing to do is enter text. So for example, hello, this is my first website. Okay, what we can do with this text is if we highlight it, we can change the text to any of these down here. So by default it's Times. Arial is often a popular one to use on a website. You see that's changed it. You can make it bold, you can make it larger or smaller. You can change the colour, which if you click on this little box here, let's make it burgundy, red. Okay, as you can see, we can also change the alignment. Currently that's aligned to the left. We can center it or right align it. Let's pretend it's a title and we're going to center that. So we'll change these to capitals. Okay, now let's suppose you wanted to insert that image, that photo image that I'd upload to the images folder earlier. Go to Insert Image, locate the image, Photo, Open, alternate text. Okay, that inserts the image into the cursor position. You can change the alignment to left or right. I'm going to have it left. Now I'm going to insert some text. Okay, by default the text is added at the base of the photo. You might wish to have it at the top of the photo. To do that, you need to change the image properties. So right click the image. Down this list is image properties. Go to the appearance tab where it says align text to image, by default at the bottom. Change that to at the top. Okay, and that moves the text to the top of the image. You'll also note the text is tight against the edge of the image. To add a margin, again, go to image properties, appearance, spacing. Let's have a 10 pixel spacing between the left and right. Okay, that inserts a neater looking margin there now. Again, you can format this text. You can make it bold. You can change the colour. Okay, and you can change the font. We'll go for Arial again. Okay, as such. I'm going to put that back to black. Okay. Something else you can do is also insert a table into a table. So for instance, let's suppose you want to insert a table here. Go to Table, Insert, Table. I'm going to make this 2 columns by 3 rows. Okay. I'm going to increase the size. So if I click on the table icon, Table tab, increase the width to 300 pixels. Change the borders, spacings and padding to 0. Okay. Okay, in fact I think I want that a little larger. What I'm going to do is going to move my cursor over this little checkbox there, hold down my left mouse key and drag it to the size I want. So that looks about right. And this column here, I want this to be much slimmer, about 50 pixels. What I'm going to do is, you see in this top bar here, again move the cursor over the line so it turns to a double arrow, hold down the left mouse key and move it till it's the size you require. Let's say 50 or thereabouts. Okay, and that resizes that box. Now in there I'm going to insert an image. I'm going to insert a checkbox. I don't yet have a checkbox in my image folder, but I've got one I can use. So I'm just going to my image folder again, which is located in there, in images. Let's drag in this checkbox. Okay. Now I can insert that image. There it is. Open. Let's call that tick. Okay. And I want to copy that into there and there as well. So I'm going to highlight, right click, copy. Go to that cell, right click, paste. And the cell below, right click, paste. That's pasted those 3 checkboxes into the 3 cells. I want to center those. So I'm going to highlight all 3 cells by holding down the left mouse key and dragging over the cells. Click the center alignment and that centers the 3 checkboxes. Then I want to insert some description into the adjacent cells. So for instance, this is point number 1. This is point number 2 and number 3. Okay, I'm happy with that so far. So let's save that. Remember to save your work as you go along. You don't want your computer to crash. Once it's saved, if you click on the browse icon, what that does, it loads up your web browser with the web page you've designed in it, and this is what it will look like when it goes live. Okay, so we've got the footer and the header and our content there as you saw us design earlier. Let's close that down and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day. Hello and welcome to this video on Komposzer. In this video I'll show you how to embed a YouTube video into your website. Okay, let's add a title here. Let's format that, center, make it larger, bold, add some colour. Okay, change the font. Let's use Arial. Okay, move the cursor to the exact position where you wish to insert the video. Okay, go to YouTube. Once you've found your video, you'll find a little embed tag. If you click on that, some code will open up below it. It will begin with the word object width. Once that's highlighted, right click, copy. That copies it into the clipboard. Go back to your website, insert HTML, paste that code into the window there, insert. That inserts the object. You'll only see this blue box, you won't actually see the video until your website is actually published live on the internet. But if you save it and click on browse, you can see what it will look like. You scroll down and you see the video is being placed there exactly as we expected. Let's just click play to see. Okay, that's done. All quite straightforward. I hope you have fun with that, and have a great day.
Hello and welcome back to this video on Komposzer. So far we've created a single page website. What we're going to do now is create some extra pages and insert navigational links so we can hop between those pages. Okay, I'm going to insert the navigational links just above this title. What could they be? For instance, we could have home, we can have contact us, and we can have about us. I'm going to change the format of that. I'm going to right justify it, take the bold off, and make it smaller. Now this page, this will be our home page. We need to create the contact us page and we need to create the about us page. To do that, what I'm going to do is save this page we've got at the moment, which you remember is called index.html. The page title of it is My First Website. So using this as a template, we're going to save this file as contact, save, and we're going to save the page as about us. And you see those pages have been added to our folder, and we'll use these pages as templates for our website. Okay, this page you see is the about us.html file. It still has the title My First Website. Now to change that, if you go down here and you click on the source tab, what you'll see is the source of this page, and at the top, actually line number 6, between these title tags is the title of the web page. Now this one, we're going to change it to about us. Okay, go back to normal, and you can see that's changed to about us. Now we're going to open the contact page. You see it opens in another tab, contact, HTML. That's called My First Website as a title. Again, we'll change that by going to the source code at the top in between the title tags. We'll change that to contact us. Go back to normal. Okay, and finally we need to open the original index page, which is called My First Website. That's okay as it is. So now we've got the 3 separate pages. The about us, saved as aboutus.html. The contact us, saved as contact.html. And My First Website, which is our home page, saved as index.html. And this is the navigational links that we're going to use and edit to hop between the pages of our website. Okay, what we're going to do first is highlight this piece of text at home, click on the link icon. It says enter a web page location or a local file. We'll browse, and our home page is index. Open, that comes up there. Click OK. You see that's now changed to an underlined blue colour, which indicates the default hyperlink text. We're going to highlight contact us, click on link, browse, select contact, open, OK.
And finally, highlight About Us, link, browse, About Us, open. OK. So on this page, my first website, we've activated these links. Now when we're actually viewing this in our browser, by clicking on these links, we'll hop to the appropriate web page. Okay, we need to repeat this for the other two web pages, the Contact Us and the About Us. Now the shortcut way to do this is if I highlight all of this, right click, copy, go to Contact Us, highlight the same there, right click, paste. Okay, and the About Us, right click, paste. Okay, it's inserted some spaces there. We can just hit the delete key and remove those. The same thing happened there. Hit the delete key and remove the space. Okay, so all three pages now have the navigational links active. Make sure you save each tab. That one's saved, that one's saved, and that one's saved. Okay, and then you can edit each page as you need to. So for instance, hello, this is the About Me page. Okay, delete that one, save that. Contact Us. Hello, this is the contact page. Let's highlight and delete that. Oops. I want to delete this table. Table, delete, table. Okay. Here, for instance, you might type, you may contact me by email at bob@mynewsite.com, and therefore people then know that's your email address. We'll save that. My first website, that's fine as it is. Okay, so we've created our three pages and we've created navigational links between them. Now if we click on the browse and see what that looks like in our browser, here we've got the About Me page. Let's click on Home. That takes us to our home page. Contact. That takes us to the contact page. About Us. Hello, this is the About Me page. So they're all working fine. Okay, I'm going to close this browser window. Go back to my Komposzer window. I'm not going to change the About Us page anymore, so I can close that by clicking this red cross. Contact Us, I'll close that. I'm back on the home page now, and what I'll show you in the next video is how to insert video from YouTube or other video sites such as that. Okay, I'll see you then. Have a great day. Hello and welcome to this video on Komposzer. Before we open up the software and start creating our first website, what we need to do is create a folder where we're going to store the files and the images of our website. So here I am on my desktop. If I right click, new folder, and create a folder with a name relevant to the website I'm about to create. So I'm going to call this My First Website. Okay. Now if we double click and open that up, you can see of course it's empty. If you're going to use images on your website, and I'm sure you are, the best thing to do is create a folder within there called Images. Okay, you'll see I've entered that in lowercase letters, and I recommend you enter all your file names and folder names within your website in lowercase and avoid using spaces and special characters, because your web server does prefer things that way and it keeps things neat and tidy for the future. Okay, double click and open up the images folder. Of course it's empty, but I did prepare some earlier. Prepared one called photo, prepared a footer, and I prepared a header. Okay, now we're set to go. Okay, let's open up our Komposzer software, and you see the cursors blinking within the workspace ready for us to start creating. Before we do anything, let's save this. Even though it's blank, best thing to do first is save it. File, save, give it a page title. I'm going to call this My First Website. Okay. Also, you need to give it a file name. As this is going to be our main homepage for our website, we need to call this index. Okay, make sure it's within the location of our folder, within My First Website. Okay, and save. If you've used any word processing programs before, then these icons up here will no doubt seem quite familiar to you. If they don't worry, we're going to go through them over the course of these videos. The first thing you might want to do is change the colour of the workspace, change the background from white to something else. I'm going to change it to grey. To do this, click on Format, Page Colours and Background, use Custom Colours. You can see these are the custom colours. The background, click on that box there. This swatch comes up. I'm going to select the grey. OK. OK. And then to start entering content for your website, the easiest way to do this and to control the layout of the website is to use tables. So click on the table icon. This grid comes up so you can select how many rows and columns you wish to be in your table. I'm going to select a 3x1. That means I can insert a header, a footer, and have content in the center. Once the number of squares you require is highlighted, left click the mouse, and that inserts the table. Next we need to change the size of the table, and we're going to position it in the center. So to edit the table properties, right click anywhere in the table, click on Table Cell Properties. This allows us to change the cell properties or the table properties. So to change the table properties, click the Table tab. The width, I'm going to change that to 600 pixels. The border, I'm going to put to 0, spacing to 0, and the padding to 0. Align the center, align the table to the center. OK. Now, for that table, I'm going to change the colour of it to white. So again, right click, Table Properties, Background Colour, select white, and I recommend if you're using text, you'll use black text on a white background. Okay, so let's change to white. Then it remains to insert the header and the footer. So click in the header cell to position our cursor there. Insert, image. Okay, the image location, remember it was in the images folder. So click on this icon here. In My First Website Images folder, select the header, open, and that gives the location there. And you'll note that this checkbox should turn up. URL is relative to page location, which means that it's looking within the folder we created earlier rather than some spurious location within your hard drive. Remember to stick to images that you've already transferred into that images folder. Now, in addition to that, you could enter some alternative text. So here I'm just going to put header. When you create proper websites, you can be a bit more creative with the alternative text because it can help with the search engine optimization. Okay, and you see that inserts the header. Similarly, we need to insert the footer. So move the cursor to the bottom cell, insert, image, browse to footer. OK, alternative text, footer. OK, that's popped up there nicely. So we've got the header on the top cell, the footer on the bottom cell, and this midsection is where we're going to type our content.
Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to upload your squeeze page that you will set up. Alright, so now that we have set up our NVU, okay, so we have used our NVU to create our squeeze page and do all the changes. What we need to do now is to open up your worksheet. Open up your worksheet, okay. This is your worksheet, alright. Open up your worksheet. Look at Internet Business Tools. Under here, you can see your hosting. What we're going to do is we're going to log into our cPanel. Okay, you need to log into your cPanel. Okay, for me, my cPanel login is this one, and this is my username and my password. Alright. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to copy this. Alright. I'm going to go open up a new browser. Okay, paste it in. Okay, this is my cPanel. Alright, you have your own cPanel. What I want you to do is log in, for you to log into your cPanel. Okay, let me put in my password, my login details. Okay, once we're done, this is where what you will see, alright, in your cPanel. Alright. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is scroll down. We need to FTP or upload the HTML file so that it can appear in online, alright, so that your prospect can find your website. So what I want you to do is look under these files on this icon called File Manager. Alright, click on this File Manager and this pop-up will appear. Alright, so always use the default web root, okay, public_HTML, okay, and then make sure that your domain name appears here. Alright, so you choose your domain name. Once you're done, you may want to skip this question and always open the directory. Just press this and click on Go. Alright. Okay, so now this is the next page that actually opens up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is very simple. Okay, make sure you can see here. Make sure is this folder here is public_HTML. Alright, so once it's public_HTML, that means you're on the right path. Alright, so over here on the right hand side, these are all the you can actually upload your web HTML files here so that it can appear online. Alright, so if next time if you want to upload any websites, make sure you upload it under public_HTML. Okay, so what we're going to do now is remember the 5 files that we have created. Okay, the index, the whitelist, the privacy policy, and the DL report file, and all that, all together, there are 5 of it. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to upload these 5 files. Okay, we're going to go to upload, click on upload. Okay, a new file will open, and we can see it over here. Alright, so there's 3 of them here. Okay, you may want to click on this, add another upload box, click twice, so that they're all together 1, 2, 3, oops. So altogether, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them here. Alright, so what we're going to do is this: click on here, alright, and the pop-up will appear. If not, you can always click on browse. Click on browse. Alright, so now I'm at my desktop. So what I'm going to do is this: we're going to search for our inbox cache blueprint squeeze page. Alright, double click on this inbox cache blueprint squeeze page. I can see all these 5 files here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's 5 HTML files here. So we're going to upload this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 files. Okay, so I'm going to click on the first one, DL report. I'm going to open. Alright, so now what we are doing, we are actually uploading the file to the hosting right now. Okay, so we're going to click on browse again. Then I'm going to upload the second file. I will double click on this. Okay, I can see it's uploading right now. So I'm going to click on the third one. Okay, now we're uploading. Fourth one, I will just repeat this. And then the last file, whitelist. Okay. So now let me just wait a while. Okay, you can see we are almost done. Okay, 5 files is 100% complete. Okay, so once I'm done, I will close this. Close this file, close this page, just close it. Okay, so from here I will click on home to refresh the page. sorry, I shouldn't be clicking home. Okay, what I should do is this. I should click on public_HTML. Alright, on the left hand side, click on public_HTML. Alright, so you can see on the right hand side, let's go down, you can see all the 5 folders, 5 files are here, HTML files. 1, 2, 3. Alright, this is not ours. 4, 5. Alright, so they are all together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 files. Alright. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to upload the images. Alright, remember we have images in the squeeze page as well in the websites. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. Okay, right now some of you may have images folder that's been created by default. Some of you may not have it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete this. Okay, if you have it, good, just leave it as it is. But if it doesn't have it, let me show you how to create your image folder. Alright, okay, now so just imagine that I don't have it. If you have it, we're going to use it. Okay, if you doesn't have it, let me show you how to create your own image folder. Alright, so what I'm going to do is this. Oops. Okay, go to new folder. On the left hand side on top, click on new folder, and you may want to key in images. Alright, no capital I, do not put capital I, right? Small I. Okay, all lower caps. Okay, once you are done, click on create new folder, and you can see our images folder is being created. Okay, if you double click on this, what I want you to do now is to double click on these images. Alright, double click on this. You can see there's nothing inside, no records found. Okay, good. Alright, so if you have anything inside here, inside the images file, don't worry about it. Okay, just leave it as it is. Alright, if there's nothing inside, it's okay. So what I'm going to do is now is go to upload the files. Go to upload. Okay, same thing over here. Click on browse. Okay, so over here you can see 5 folders. Okay, you can see this images folder. Alright, so double click on this images folder, and you can see all these files. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, all together there are 13 files. So I'm going to upload all these 13 files. Okay, I'm going to do it one by one. Double click on this, double click on the second one, double click on the third one. Okay, let me just add in more boxes. Alright, third one, let me double click the fourth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, double click fifth one. Double click. Alright, just make sure you do up all of it. Hotmail. Lock. Okay, let me just do it some more. Okay, this log is already exists. It's okay, I'll override it. I actually upload twice. Upload. Okay, now let's say while you're uploading the files, okay, now I'm left with let me see how many more. Okay, I'm left with 2 more. Now let's say if I upload halfway, there's some error, or some of it hang. You may experience this. Alright, some of the uploading actually hangs, or you may not be able to complete all. It's okay. Okay, let's say I'm being stuck right now. Okay, I can't carry on. Okay, something hang. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. Very simple. You can actually just close. You can see there's a lot 100% complete. Okay, you can just actually close this file. Just close the tab. Alright, so over here under the file manager, what you need to do is very simple. Just look on the left hand side. You can see this images folder that you create. Just click on this once. You can see here it's loading the data. Okay, so you can see these are the files that has been completed. So what you need to do is very simple. Just go through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, you can see 11 of it has been completed. So I have 2 more files, so I will just go and carry on to upload the other 2 files. Okay, so I'm going to go to upload. Anytime if you will experience a problem, just close the tab and then go back to here and then click on upload again. Alright, so let me upload the rest of the 2 files. Okay, last one to go. Okay, I'm done. Alright, so let me just close this. So let me just, on the left hand side, let's click on images again. Okay, so now there are 13 images file over here. Alright, so I will say we have completed uploading the website. So what you can do right now is to just go to open a new browser or a new tab and then key in your domain name. Go to your domain name, click enter, and your squeeze page is up. Alright, isn't this nice? Okay. Alright, so everything is working fine. If you want to check, you can actually check out all these pages over here. Okay, right at the bottom. Alright, these are all pages that you have created. Alright, okay. So let me just go back to the home page. Okay, so this is your squeeze page. So now, what you need to do now is to spend the next few months, 6 months, 12 months down the road promoting this squeeze page of yours. Alright, promote this squeeze page, and when you have a prospect who put in their name and email address over these 2 sections and then click download, okay, they'll be brought over to your download page to download your free report, and in the meantime you will send them to your inbox cache blueprint affiliate link. Okay, that is where you will promote your first affiliate products. Okay, I can safely assure you that if you can send 100 leads, you can get 100 people to register at the website here, you should get a couple of sales. Okay, you should get some number of sales. Okay, in fact, we have some students whose conversion is pretty good. Alright, every 40 opt-in, he have 1 sales. Some as high as every 20 opt-ins, he will have 1 sales. Alright, so everything will depend on you right now. We have successfully set our squeeze page. The next thing you do is to spend time and concentrate on driving traffic to your squeeze page.